In this video, I will be setting up a low-tech ecosystem from scratch for some cherry shrimp and snails to live. To start, I'll be setting up our light because the plants in this tank will need lots of it to thrive. Next, I'll add in some aqua soil. This is a nutrient-dense base for our plants to grow in. I want to make our soil deeper in the back to give this jar some sense of depth. Next, I'm going to add in some water to get all the air pockets out and so that we can add in our sand a lot easier. This is just play sand I got from Home Depot. I've used it in a lot of other aquariums and it seems to work really well. In my last tank setup, I learned the hard way that damp sand will not spread evenly across the aqua soil, so you have to put water in so that it will disperse. Now that we have the sand in the tank, I'm going to remove the excess water so that we can plant. I chose these plants because they will all thrive in a low-tech setup and they'll occupy different areas of the water column. Hornwort is typically a floating plant, but I didn't want it to make a mess in my tank, so I'm going to superglue it to these ceramic rings and then place them in the bottom of the tank. Unfortunately, if you bury hornwort in the sand, it will start to rot. This plant grows super fast, so I'm only going to use 4 small pieces to start. I'll trim it as needed. While we wait for the hornwort to dry, we're going to add in some of our other plants. The goal is to push them all the way down through the sand so they can get to the nutrient layer. For an added bonus, I'm going to add in these root tabs. These will slowly release nutrients over time for all the plants in the tank. Now that the glue is dried, we're going to add our hornwort in the back. Now we're going to add in our foreground plants. These are some trimmings from a bigger plant I have, and hopefully they'll take root and grow well. Now it's time to add in our water very slowly. I'm using this grocery bag to make sure I'm not pouring water directly on any of the sand or plants. I'm using some water from one of my established tanks so that we can jumpstart the beneficial bacteria in this ecosystem. For even more beneficial bacteria and hiding places, we're going to add in a piece of driftwood from that same tank. Next, we're going to add in a little bit of plant fertilizer to give our plants just a little more nutrients. I felt like something was missing, so I grabbed this piece of anubias from one of my other tanks, cut it in half, and glued it to the driftwood. I think this will make a great centerpiece for the jar. I also got these plants because of their beautiful color. I think this setup was missing some mid-ground plants, so I think this will finish the scape very nicely. Now that we're all done planting, let's add in our new centerpiece. The finishing touch on this tank will be adding in a little bit of gravel in the front. Now I'm just going to leave the jar for a while to cycle. About a week has passed now and the water is super stable. It's time to add in our first inhabitants. These are a couple pest snails that I grabbed from another tank. The moment I dropped them in, I realized the 2 snails have very different personalities. This one likes to clean, and this one likes to chill. About another week goes by and I get a package in the mail. When I open up the box, I discover that our shrimp have arrived. They've been traveling for around 5 days, so I immediately get them out of their bag. Some of the shrimp look black or super clear, and that's because they're stressed out from all the traveling. So I immediately start a drip acclimation to get them ready for the tank. I'm going to turn off the light and let them acclimate for about an hour. It's been a little over 2 weeks since we put these plants in, and they're already growing out of the water, and I had to trim the hornwort once already. I think our snails are excited for their new guests because they start cleaning up the glass. As I was filming this, I noticed a white speck swimming around. This is called a microfauna. These guys are a great sign of a healthy ecosystem. Think of them as like the tank's janitors, assisting in decomposition and cleaning up all the waste. After about an hour, the shrimp are ready to go into their new home. Almost immediately, the shrimp's color is starting to come back and they're looking very vibrant and healthy. One of the snails and one of the shrimp meet each other for the first time and seem like they're going to be great friends. Let's play a little game and see how many shrimps you can spot in this one frame. If you answered 4, you'd be correct, and this just shows how tiny these shrimp are. These two guys decide that this leaf is really dirty and clean it together. I start to realize there's way more than 2 snails in here. That's because pest snails can reproduce without a partner, and they can quickly take over an aquarium. This snail does a pull-up to show that he's the alpha. Unfortunately, we have to change that by adding in an assassin snail. These guys can eat pest snails, and the first night when the lights go out, the assassin snail goes on attack. Fortunately for the pest snail, he evades the assassin snail, and his life is spared. It's very unlikely that assassin snails will eat shrimp, but on rare occasions it does happen, and this shrimp wants to test his luck. Luckily for the shrimp, the assassin snail's feeling pretty chill. Now that it's daylight again, everyone's back to exploring the tank. Overall, all the shrimp seem super happy and healthy. These 2 shrimp have found a secret hideout, and I think they're planning on how to take down the assassin snail. This is my first time making a low-tech ecosystem, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. All of the plants seem to be thriving, and all of the inhabitants are alive. Subscribe to my channel for updates on this jar over the next coming months. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Feel free to comment down below some ideas for my next build.